It's gotten to the point, personally, where it was really difficult for me to hold a job for any length of time. I did 30 years in the building trades, but I was used oftentimes as a goon. I had problems. I had long-term employment problems, and a lot of times when you have to listen to a second lieutenant, what we used to call butter bar, do nothing, you know, compared to like a platoon sergeant or a staff sergeant. And all of a sudden you're out in real life and you're on a job, maybe you're on a concrete pour, maybe you're doing something, some high bridge work or something, and you got some young snot-nose who's related to the family or tied into the contractor's family trying to tell you what to do, and all you want to do is backhand them, you know, or throw them off whatever you're on, you know, or punch them out, knock them out. You lose jobs really quick. So there's ways, fortunately, if you're politically active in the building trades, where they know how to utilize your temper, know how to utilize your political aggressiveness, let's say. But the way, other than anger and some of the more frightening things that come out of the shock and the horror of war, in my particular case, is my ability, my desire to give back to fellow GIs. We all took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, and I really respect that. Anyone who signs up for something and keeps their end of the bargain and understands what the Constitution is all about, who understands the Commander-in-Chief is violating the Constitution. When we have these kind of people who put their neck out like that and keep their end of the deal, I have to respect them and have to respect and help them get over what the policy has done to them.
Bill Perry, what are you advising soldiers, vets who are testifying this weekend? Well,
we all come out of a society that's entrenched in a Judeo-Christian culture. And the other 10% of the society that's not particularly Judeo-Christian also believes in what we call the fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. And no matter how big a battery of shrinks, how big a battery of behaviorists, how big a group of psychiatrists can make a good human being who comes up in believing in thou shalt not kill into a cold-blooded killing machine, we can salvage things. We can bring you back, you know, to where you were prior to going in. We can bring you back to what we all believed in back in the day coming up.
Bill Perry, we're going to go back to 1971 once again, to Winter Soldier. The soldiers who testified used pictures to illustrate what they were saying.
The first slide you're going to see shows a prisoner of war, and the way that they try to get him to talk is by making him stand in front of a pile of Viet Cong bodies that we had picked up. It's the same POW was forced to sit for probably from 6 to 8 hours by this pile of bodies in the hot sun. It's a shot of 5 or 6 GIs going through the bodies looking for souvenirs. In this picture, there's a lieutenant and a captain overlooking what's going on. This is a shot of our interrogator. He took his M16, he took him and forced him into this prisoner's nose, and he twisted him. It's extremely painful.
Officers were present at all times?
Yes, field-grade officers were present. And the next slide is a slide of myself. I'm extremely shameful of it. I'm showing it in hopes that none of you people that have never been involved ever let this happen to you. Don't ever let your government do this to you. It's me holding a dead body, smiling. Everyone in our platoon took 2 bodies, put them on the back ramp, drove them through a village for show, and dumped them off the edge of the village.
Winter Soldier. Testimony in 1971, February in Detroit. We're here in 2008 in Silver Spring National Labor College. Winter Soldier, once again, accounts of occupation and war in Afghanistan, Iraq by soldiers who have gathered here and vets. Tanya Austin is with us right now. She was active duty until 2004. She was an Arab linguist. She is with Iraq Veterans Against the War and will be testifying. Welcome.
Thank you.
As we wrap up today's show, what will you be saying this weekend?
I'm going to be testifying about the VA health system and how the way to deal with PTSD is first by just over-medicating and not giving the chance to have someone to talk to, because there are too many soldiers who need counseling and not enough counselors. So me personally, it was a year after being medicated before I had a chance to actually speak with someone, and they actually put me on a wrong medication that caused an increase in suicidal feelings, because a lot of antidepressants do that. Luckily, I was able to get off of that one and onto something else, but it's just to show how the VA is so under-equipped to be dealing with today's soldiers. I mean, people come back from Iraq, Afghanistan, or even just duty here in the United States, and they don't have the outlet in the room in the VA in order to get the treatment they need and deserve.
Where did you serve?
I served stateside. I can't say more than that because I was in military intelligence.
Arab linguist?
Yes, I was. I was an Arabic linguist.
How do you feel about your time served?
I'm proud of what I did to serve my country. Do not like what we are doing, obviously, by being here.
You're also giving someone else's testimony.
Yes, I am. I'm going to be giving testimony of someone who was in the Coast Guard who was raped, and the Coast Guard decided to cover it up and actually discharge her because she wouldn't drop the charges. She is not able to give her own testimony because of ongoing legal matters, but it's a very heart-wrenching story how the Coast Guard covered up her rape, and also the fact that she was beaten by one of her fellow shipmates.
How do you feel about those who say this is the greatest outrage for soldiers to be speaking out against their service?
I think it's just the actual 100% opposite of that. There's no one who knows better than the soldiers. No one knows better than those of us who have served in today's military, who have seen what we've seen, heard what we've heard, and done what we've done. And for all of us that are here, I see it nothing more than absolute patriotism by coming out and speaking out about what we see and what we've done.
Are you afraid of suffering repercussions from within the military?
No, because I know what I'm doing is right, and doing what is right and what is easy is often two different things.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Tanya Austin, for joining us. Was in military intelligence, yes. Arab linguist here at the Winter Soldier. The accounts that are going to be given today, all day today, Saturday and Sunday, by soldiers, veterans, about their experiences in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is going to be broadcast live throughout the day at ivaw.org. That's Iraq Veterans Against the War.org. Pacifica radio stations will be running it, and affiliates. Free Speech TV as well, channel 9415 of Dish Network, will be broadcasting these hearings, gavel to gavel. And Democracy Now! Will continue to bring you what happened throughout the weekend next week. That does it for our broadcast. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke and Shrifo Kadus. Special thanks to Dennis Moynihan and Danya Apt and Chase Peterson. I'm Amy Goodman from Silver Spring. Thanks for joining us.